This video is going to be about Sadiq Khan. You know, I sound like a broken record at this point, honestly, because it seems like I just can't give this man a break. But the reason why is because he answers to no one clearly. He doesn't answer to anyone. He doesn't answer to no one. Now, London has been in a terrible shape for many years under a Sadiq Khan. This year, it feels like it's been super lawless. And Sadiq Khan has not come forward and said any words of encouragement. He hasn't come forward with some good policies. He's been super ineffective as he has done in previous years. I don't know if you know about this, but just a week and a half ago, Floyd Mayweather was shopping in Hatton Gardens. He then leaves the store and he is confronted by pro-Palestinians. And he has to flee the scene. You know, I was paying attention to Sadiq Khan's Twitter. He said nothing of this. This is Floyd Mayweather. You know, he's known globally. When he was boxing, he was generating the highest revenue for any sportsman. And he's shopping in Hatton Gardens. Pro-Palestinians try to attack him. He flees. The mayor of London says nothing. And that's because he covertly supports this. You know, his silence said everything, and he supported what those pro-Palestinians done. Because again, he pledges. That's just another example of him pledging his allegiance to any Islamic struggle and not London. So yeah, and Floyd Mayweather spends a lot of money here. But anyway, guys, this video is going to be in relation to phone theft. You know, this year has been increasing in phone theft. What is Sadiq Khan going to do about it? That's what we want to know. He's going to be very ineffective. I haven't played this, but I bet any money he's going to be super ineffective. And from previous interviews, he said that manufacturers, you know, we need to speak with them to render the device useless. That's what he said previously. I haven't watched this. We're going to watch it now. But anyhow, he says that again in this interview. Honestly, he's taking a mick. But anyway, guys, let's get straight to it and let's just see what this is about.
So my question was about your New Year's resolutions. So some people perhaps over Christmas might be lucky enough to get a new mobile phone from Santa, and they might be hoping that it doesn't get stolen from them in a city where increasingly theft feels like it's been legalised. Do you have a New Year's resolution to get a grip of that problem?
So I think there's a question later on specifically on this. Personal robbery and personal theft is traumatic for the victims, and particularly with a mobile phone which has a lot of personal data on it. We have unfortunately seen an increase in both personal theft of mobile phones and personal robbery of mobile phones across the country, across Europe, and that doesn't exclude London. So we've set out a number of things to address this issue. In answer to the question from someone who Desire, set out the changes in the new Met London plan to tackle these hotspots where we know, I'm afraid, perpetrators target people using their phones as they are entitled to do. So in addition to enforcement, there is some potential good news in relation to prevention. He'll remember, he's a similar age to me, but younger. But the theft of stereos the theft from stereos in cars used to be a common thing 20, 30 years ago. We designed that out by just putting them into the board. Similarly, other issues to do with, you know, as ink on cash in banks, ink on clothes. We're asking phone manufacturers to have a kill switch. So if a phone is stolen, it's of no value to the person who steals it. So that's some of the stuff we're doing around prevention. But he's right, we need to do more enforcement as well.
What? Guys, I'm not going to keep on pausing the video. He said that exact speech on Sky News just, I believe, like a few weeks ago. That exact speech he said on Sky News. You know, we need to talk to the manufacturers. That's where I got that speech in the introduction from. He said we need to speak with manufacturers and render the device useless. How does that? And then in the beginning of the speech, he just said that it's a traumatic experience. So what are you going to do to ensure that Londoners and people visiting London don't undergo a traumatic experience? And again, he doesn't propose any policies for prevention for thefts on the streets of London, and it's so clearly evident in this interview from what I've seen already. So yeah, but anyway, we'll carry on.
Which was sort of my question. So do you have a New Year's resolution to do more on that, and if so, what? Because obviously yesterday you published your new police and crime plan, which is not just for the coming year, but for the rest of your term, and there's really nothing in it about mobile phones. I've got it in front of me here. It basically says it's essentially a steady state, continue as we are, and maybe ask some other people, phone manufacturers, to do some things which are unspecified. What are you actually doing to get a grip? Because in any case, sometimes these are stolen for parts. So even if it's like, even if the software is disabled, the parts still have a value.
He's right. We've had examples of parts being sent to other parts of the world, not just in this country, and that's why it's really important to work with the manufacturers in relation to making those parts useless. I mentioned the issue of ink in relation to clothes and cash. There's no reason at all why manufacturers can't be using similar things in relation to phones. So he'll be aware that the main way phones are stolen is a combination of personal theft and personal robbery. So there is a lot in the police and crime plan around public protection, a lot in relation to how we reduce robbery. He'll be aware of this year the launch of the robbery reduction team that includes partners working with us, the design of the public realm, very important in relation to where these thefts and robberies are taking place, better lit areas, less crime. Working with those in the business community, really important as well as enforcement. So we now have the data and Chief Scientific Officer who helps the police service use the data to make sure the police are targeting those areas where we know in the past there's been personal theft and personal robbery. We know, I'm afraid, the biggest age group who are victims of phone theft are young people. Working in schools is really important as well.
Sorry, no, so all of these are things that you're doing. Is anything, please don't give me a lengthy list of things you're already doing. What new things might you be doing next year? Rather, because we know that the things that you're doing now aren't working, because that's brought us to the point that we're at. So what new things might you be
He's not even saying what he's doing. He's literally just saying, yeah, we understand that phone theft. I spoke with this person, that person, this department. It's more common in areas like this, but he hasn't actually said what it is he's even doing. So he's not even saying what he's doing. He's literally just dancing around. I'm not picking anything up. You know, from what I'm seeing, everything is pretty much going to stay the same. Nothing is changing, and 2025 will be a repeat or even worse than 2024, you know. So that's what you have to look forward to, and that's what he's basically trying to tell you.
Be doing in the new year in your new crime plan?
Well, let me answer directly. So a new thing we'll be doing next year is meeting with the Home Secretary and the phone manufacturers about them doing a new thing, which is putting a kill switch on their phones. Another new thing we'll be asking.
That's the thing that you're asking them to do. It's not a thing that you're doing, is it? Okay, well, let me say, to me that feels like a lot of vague waffle, but I hope Londoners will form their own view on the results. I suppose we will see what they are in due course.
Guys, you know, a massive middle finger up to Londoners. You know, that speech was you know, things happen. I'll talk to some manufacturers, but other than that, ain't doing much else, you know. Happy New Year. He wasn't even saying Happy New Year. He was basically saying, hope you get robbed in the new year. Because I'm not going to be doing anything about it. You know, if he knows anything about what's been going on the streets of London, then he knows most of the phones that have been stolen have been iPhones. China manufactured the iPhones, and the phones that are being stolen are being sent back to China, Shenzhen, south of China, Shenzhen, I believe. They were talking about this on BBC. And ITV. So he wants us to believe that he's going to go on the phone and be a macho man with China and tell them, right guys, the phones that you're making, that you're manufacturing, you know, we need to render them useless when they get stolen in London. And he's just waffling on this. Oh man, this man is the biggest waffler. He's waffled his way into 3 terms as a mayor, 3 terms, and look at what he's doing end of 2024. He's basically telling Londoners, you know, things happen, and yeah, I'm not doing anything about that. But watch his energy when Ramadan comes. Watch how he puts effort into his job during Ramadan. You know, he's going to ensure that Ramadan is celebrated to the highest extent in London. That's where his energy goes to. You know, but when it's things like, you know, theft or Christmas, he couldn't care. Just shows up, give you a quick, vague answer, and then he runs away and, you know, just pockets more money essentially. So yeah. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this down below. In relation to phone theft, you can absolutely expect what's been going on in 2024 to repeat itself next year. So yeah. But anyway, guys, catch you at the next video. Peace.